As hard as it is for me to imagine that not everyone here wakes up thinking about cow teats in the morning, that's what I'm going to talk about. You could say I was born into this niche area of interest. My dad's a milk quality veterinarian, and my family's business is a diagnostic lab. So what that means is while normal kids were making money by mowing lawns and babysitting, I had the pleasure of washing lab dishes and labeling milk samples. So I didn't grow up on a farm per se, but early years spent tagging along with my dad found me loitering around the calf barn, getting my fingers suckled, or running to greet him when he arrived home at the end of the day, still wearing noticeably odoriferous overalls. But these childhood moments ensured that, in contrast to popular opinion, I find the smell of dairies to be as comforting as any nostalgic memory. But what does that have to do with where I am now, back in school as a grad student after 10 years working in the field? So most of my career thus far has been spent riding my dad's coattails by working for him and on his projects. And not that I didn't enjoy that work or wasn't interested in it, but as the years rolled by, I felt an increasing need to have a project or something that was more my own. And the moment that really lit the fire under me, so to speak, came about 3 years ago when I met cow number 1067, and this is her. So at that time, I was out on one of the farms that tested for mastitis with us, working on a back burner project that I was intrigued by and explored the use of a casein hydrolysis solution to cease milk production in a single quarter of the udder, and I will come back to that. I think most people are familiar with the term mastitis, but what they may or may not be in touch with is exactly what it is, how much discomfort it's capable of causing, or that in fact, it's not limited to cows. And I'm willing to bet I have at least a few moms in here right now that are cringing as they reflect back on their own mastitis experience. So I just want to clarify that mastitis simply means an infection or inflammation of the mammary gland, and cows are just at a higher risk because they get milked every day. So when a cow gets mastitis, it's frequently isolated to a single quarter of the udder, and sometimes that quarter becomes chronically infected. So then the question becomes, what do you do with a cow that's valuable, perhaps already rebred, giving lots of good milk out of the other 3 quarters, but has this one chronically inflamed, painful quarter that just won't go away? And I don't want you to misunderstand me. Dairymen love their cows, but they are running a business and have to make tough decisions every day. Culling is frequently the best choice. So getting back to this casein hydrolysis, what is that and what does it have to do with what I'm talking about? So casein is simply a milk-based protein that's already naturally secreted in the udder by the cow's body as she prepares to enter her 2-month dry period before calving back in again. I was simply digesting casein with an enzyme to manually induce this process. And it's not to be confused with the use of an antibiotic or some other chemical. So getting back to my story, 1067 came along, and she was the perfect case definition of a cow I'd like to try this on. She was young, she looked great, she was giving a ton of good milk. The only problem was she had one nasty quarter that just refused to clear and consequently was on the list to be sent to slaughter. So I went to the owner and asked, can I give it a go with my casein solution? He said, at this point, there's nothing to lose, go ahead. So I put her through the treatment protocol, and they were able to successfully stop milking the quarter. And that's when the really amazing thing happened. Everything from that point forward went right. And anyone in this room that has worked in the life sciences and or in research knows that that simply does not happen. So not only were they able to stop milking the quarter, she was successfully rebred, finished the lactation without further incident. And when she calved back in, the quarter that I had treated had spontaneously cleared. So she was now giving more milk than ever out of all 4 healthy quarters. And it occurred to me that although I think this is a rather dramatic example, the potential really existed for this to be not only a practical tool for the dairymen to use, but attractive from an animal welfare perspective as well. Mastitis is a painful disease. It causes hot, swollen quarters, but those quarters still need to be milked. If I can show that this solution works, I'm not only helping the animal, but I'm helping the person behind the animal as well. And those are the moments that I really thrive on. My secret dream of dreams is that someday I could offer this to organic dairies who have few, if any, tools at their disposal. But that's a journey for another day. Thank you.